So welcome back to another video, and I'm just picking up from where I last stopped from the last video. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a new file. All right, I'm gonna title it demo variables. Okay, I'm not really great with naming my files. Okay, so basically, I have a new class, the same thing as we have been doing for the past two videos, okay? And today, well, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to show you guys how to declare different types of variables, and then I'm going to show you guys why exactly it's important to declare variables and use them rather than just hard coding in the same thing over and over again, okay? And it'll make sense once you see it. So we last showed you can use a string variable. You can declare it by typing string and then name it whatever you want. And in this case, I'll name it let's say graphics card name, and I'll initialize it. And you can initialize it like this, right? Just like this. You don't have to just declare it, right? During the declaration, you can immediately initialize it, right? You don't have to do, graphics card name and then semicolon and then retype it again like that. You don't have to do it this way, right? You don't have to do it that way. You can immediately just assign it a string literal just from the declaration. And I'm going to assign it, let's say GTX 1070, because that's the graphics card that I use on my main computer. Okay, and you can just yeah, this is basically how you can initialize variables. You can do it like that. Let's go ahead and initialize, or let's go ahead and declare and then initialize some more variables of different data types, right? And we call them primitive data types, and I'll name it primitive data types. There are 6 types. There's integer, there's double, float, short. I forgot the last two, long, and I know the last one. I know the last one, short, float, double. I always forget the last one. I don't know why. Anyways, hopefully it'll come back. So, oh, byte. Oh, there we go. And byte is actually, I believe, the smallest. Okay, so these 6 are the different types of primitive data types. And remember, a string is not a primitive data type. A string is actually an object. So don't confuse a string by calling it a primitive data type. Okay. So let's go ahead and declare variables of these types. We can go ahead and declare an integer, right? And integers can only hold, obviously, integers, right? So in this case, we can't hold something like, 7.2 or 5.0 or 5.7, etc. And if I want to, declare an integer variable to hold, let's say, the amount of students in my class, I can just say int, right? int. Remember, Java is case sensitive, so make sure you type it in properly. You can't do int with a capital I. It has to be all lowercase int, right? And I'll name it student capacity or student count, and then I'll initialize it to let's say 50 kids. 50 kids are in my class. All right, let's do a double, and let's say I'm trying to hold the value of, let's say, the price of each textbook, textbook cost, or let's double textbook cost equals, let's say it's $80 and let's say it's 80.75. Okay, let's use float. And one thing that I want to introduce to you guys is float is actually a double. It automatically gets converted to double, or yeah, in Java it automatically gets converted to double. So you have to actually use a cast. You have to cast it as a float. And basically to do that is, let's say, let's declare first. So I'll name this let's say coffee cost equals to, because if I try to do this 7.89, I'm going to get an error, and it'll say cannot convert from double to float. So what you have to do is you have to cast it. So to do that, you just have to force it to be a float, right? Oh wait, I'm sorry, did it the wrong way. There's actually 2 ways you can do this. You can either put the casting operation in front, or you can actually just put an F here, and and the F basically means that it's converting it to a float, and you can actually use it now. Okay, that's just how Java is. I don't know why, but I could probably look it up. But for now, we'll just understand that for floats, you have to manually cast it because it gets converted to a double automatically. And for shorts, we can easily do something like, let's say, short. We can use let's see, book amount equal 6, right? and long and byte. I'm not going to do those, but you guys get the point. And what are the difference between these data types? Well, as far as I'm concerned, a long is actually the largest, right? If you go on Google and if you look it up, I think the order is basically from long to integer to double to float. Actually, no, I think double is actually the largest, and then it becomes long, short, long integer, float, short, and byte. I'm not too sure. You know what? Let's find out right now. Let's take a look real quick. Java primitive data types in order. Let's take a look. What is the order? Okay, and let's see if I got it right. Double, float, long, and short byte. So I almost got it right. I'll give myself some credit. So we know double is the largest, and float, long, integer, short, and byte. And what is the difference between these six primitive data types? Well, basically byte can only hold up to between negative 128 to 127. Those integer values. Short is a little bit larger, but I think from negative 32,000. I know there's an exact number. I don't know the exact number, and I don't want to just look it up and retell it to you guys. If you guys want to figure it out, you guys can look it up on your own. Okay, and integer, long, float, double, you guys get the point. They're all pretty much the same thing. I'm not going to go over all those things, okay? Because if I were to do that, I would just pretty much run out of time. All right, so you guys get the idea. Just look into that if you are interested. All right, so basically I declared all of these variables, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of these variables, okay? So I'm going to show you guys two examples. First example I'll show you is I want to print out. Let's say I want to print out different types of food. Well, actually, let's see. Let's do this. Let's say my favorite food is pizza, and because pizza is my favorite food, it is also my friend's favorite food. Okay. So now let's say, for example, well, you can see over here I wrote pizza how many times? 2 times, right? And now let's say, that's not too bad. I can go ahead and rewrite print align I am Anson's friend, and I agree. Pizza is also my favorite food, but it is not my friend's favorite food. Okay, so basically this is kind of an example where you can easily just use a string variable to store the value pizza. So rather than just typing pizza over again, you can just say, let's say string string food name equals pizza. Okay, you can save that, and you can easily do something called string concatenation. And to do concatenation in Java, it's very simple. All you gotta do is just I'll show you guys. System.out.println. Okay, so if I wanted to say, let's say, if I wanted to say pizza is my favorite food, all I gotta do is just if I want to concatenate it with the variable, right? Because there are multiple ways you can concatenate this. You can concatenate pizza like that, plus is my favorite, plus food. That you can concatenate one way like that. If you want to concatenate with variables, well, it's the same thing. System.out.println food name. You type in the name of the variable. Use the plus sign, which is the concatenation symbol, and then so food name, whatever's inside food name, will represent our first word of the sentence, and then if food name represents our food name, we can say is not my favorite. You can also concatenate this food, right? And when you save it and when you try to print it out, you can see that it makes sense. Whatever we printed out food name, right? We printed out what's inside food name. All right. So hopefully that gives you guys a good idea of what exactly concatenation is. I'll probably concatenate some other stuff too. So you can actually concatenate integers. So if I go ahead and do something like, let's say, student count. Well, not, you can't concatenate. What I mean by concatenate integers, you can also concatenate doubles, floats, etc. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna declare another one, class size equal to 70. And this is just a bad example, but I'm just showing you guys exactly how you can concatenate. So you can go ahead and do class size, right? And if you let's say run this program, you'll notice that this is actually adding it, right? You're not concatenating these two things together, you're actually adding it. If you want to concatenate the number 50 with 70 and to get 5070, you have to use the empty string over there, print it out, and now it will print out the value of 50 plus the empty string plus 70. This is concatenating two different numbers together. You're not adding them, you're concatenating them, right? Don't confuse yourself with concatenating with adding because they are not the same thing, okay? We can concatenate more things. Yeah, I suggest you guys to practice concatenating literally anything. You don't just have to concatenate variables. You can concatenate, just a plain string literals that are hard coded into Java. Suggest a video on my new channel. You can concatenate like that. And yeah, just have fun, just play around with it and practice. That's pretty much how you get better. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.